always begins before the job ever starts. Really wobbling on you. Dude! I think we need different tracks. Welcome to today's adventure. Today, guys, we got a pretty steep hill. The customer just was having a lot of problems with it. So we're gonna walk you through one of the solutions that we came up with. And the solution we came up with is also, keeping in mind, it's kind of a budget-friendly solution, right? We're not trying to break the bank. We're just trying to make an ugly hill a little less ugly by the time we're done with it. So by the time we get to this point, well, I think we're a little ahead of the game in the video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back this thing up to the start of the day and then work our way back to this point. So we'll see you in about 15 minutes right back here. Morning, you guys. I got the word yesterday that Blaine hurt his shoulder, so we are short-handed. So we're gonna go out today and help Alex get a new project launched. Now Alex doesn't need help, but it's always nice to have a backup person that you can bounce ideas off from and just make sure that you're on the right path. Some of you guys like to know more details about stuff I do, so I'm gonna be breaking in some new boots today, but I don't like breaking in new boots without having my old shoes on standby. So I'm going to be bringing these with, just in case my feet don't agree with these. We'll see how they go. You wonder what I'm breaking in? They are gym greens. Sounds like the boys are busy. 7 a.m. they're hooking up. Looks like I got a low tire on that skid loader. And we got the trailer all put back together. Ooh, look at the new planks on it. Golly, look at that oil. That's about as clean as it comes. We must have replaced that oil here pretty not that long ago. All right, we got a few things in the way, but that's not really in the way in an excavator. Ooh, that didn't want to start. Let's let her warm up before we crawl her out. And wouldn't you know it, every year she always goes flat. Ah, Lee. All right, guys, I don't think I've done this one with you before. Let's drive the excavator up on the trailer. We got our blade all the way up. I like to get my machine centered as much as possible. Check my track width. Ask for a second opinion. How are we looking, Johnny? Good. Good? Both sides? Because I don't have good visual on that side. When you got the help, might as well use it. We're going up blade first. Some people are like, why are you going up blade first? Because I can, and it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we're not all the way up, but we're going to put our center of gravity down. Really, the most scary part about this is not the climb, it's rolling off the side. I've done it. It's easy to do in Minnesota. When you get ice between your machine, this is what I hate, these frickin' Daewoo's or whatever the hell this thing is. No track power. You guys see that? How much space we got on that side? A lot? A lot? Alright, I'm gonna back down and recenter that. If you're ever in a machine and it's starting to go for a ride, stay in it. Wait a minute, what were you saying, John?
$400 deal. It's a DOT fine. If you over tighten them, they walk by, and they'll have a piece of metal, and the DOT will walk by and go. And if it doesn't have just a little bit of slack, it's not supposed to have over an inch, but if it doesn't have a little bit of slack, you can get in trouble for it being too tight.
What?
It's stressing the chain.
Of course, because that makes total sense. I'm not saying you're wrong, John, but that's just one of those things where you can be got if you don't do it one way, or you can be got if you do it the other way. Either way, they got a way of getting you.
Right, there's a sweet zone there, and when you're driving down the road, they'll watch you, and as you're driving down the road, if you hit a bump and your chains move, that's when you get pulled over.
Huh. Okay.
Perfect.
Good morning, Chad. You are? Hi, puppy. Hi. How are you? Yes, good to see you again. Oh, you get to run. You get to run. Did you see your video up?
I haven't, but everybody's been calling me, hey, you're on TV.
Nice. Ah, when it rains, it pours. We got the truck coming in. He's gonna back this around, and while he's doing that, we got the boulders getting dropped off over here quietly. And we got Alex pulling up with his truck and equipment. So it's like, God, we can work behind us, we can work in front of us. Work, 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 work. Which way do we go? Thanks, Johnny. All right. What are we doing out here? Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how about you?
About 4 feet, it will die into the hill there, come around, get built right along the front edge, so that way when we backfill it with fill soil we're bringing in, we'll have kind of a flat spot up there for planting and everything.
Level it out a little bit more.
Exactly, yeah. We'll come around here. We got this little bit of a trail right there, so we're going to kind of come in right about here and kind of try to give them a little bit of a trail there, a little bit of a pathway. So
Oh, to walk up?
yeah, so we'll just come around the corner here and die into the hill there.
Okay, and so we wanna, as we're looking at this, somebody started this. God, I love how they planted this wall. Wow. Now that's what I call a gorgeous wall. And all of those, all that vegetation stitches everything together. And we need to mow that down?
Mow it or scrape it all down. I brought the weed up. I'll see how that looks. If that gets the job done, then we can just go and put the fabric right over the top of what I weed whipped.
Okay.
Mulch on top of it, but if the weed whip's not getting it good enough, we'll have to scrape it down with the Daewoo.
Okay. Oh, that'd be easy enough to climb up there and scrape it down. And we could use the top layer for some fill soil, not in the structural zone of the retaining wall, but closer to the top to help. Yeah, that's good. Hey, I think the excavator will be the best way. Just reach up, open it.
Pull it back into you, yeah.
Are you kidding me? We could cut it, we could do all that stuff, but that excavator, that's almost the perfect tool right there for doing what you gotta do.
That's why the only reason I was trying to think of an alternative to scraping it so that we didn't have to haul it out, you know.
So Alex makes a great point. We were just talking about how I think the yard looks amazing, and you said
Boulders were a little small, they could be bigger.
right. And the reason they use smaller boulders is because they stretch further. So we just bought all these by the ton, and now we install them by the square footage.
Yeah.
Oh, and in some cases, I mean, this is what a lot of guys do. I mean, we have different ways of doing it, but what happens is when you use smaller boulders, you get more square footage because you're not burying the mass, right?
Yes, yeah, because you got the whole back side of the boulder.
Yeah, you'll only see this much face, but all this weight is in the hillside.
Yeah, because that one's probably like a ton. You're probably only getting 5 square feet off that, if that.
Right.
And what do they say for a ton? 8 square feet roughly?
7.
7?
Yeah, just depends on the size of the stone.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the rule I always use. But when you use a bunch of, I mean, these still are bigger than the ones that are there, but when you use a bunch of smaller ones, you can get more square footage out of them. So, all right, well, let's get her going, huh? I know a lot of you guys do landscaping, and that's why you watch my channel. I have a question for you guys. When you first come into a project like this and you see everything's been done and you're just gonna go in and start tearing it apart, you ever get nervous? It's always like, oh, I gotta try to make that look better than it does. It can be a little nerve-wracking, also exciting. That's the beautiful part of what we do. So we spun the excavator around so we could use the back blade to prop ourselves down, to give ourselves more stability on the actual slope. What Alex is gonna find he's gonna have problems with is that Daewoo, or whatever you call that piece of crap, doesn't have any power to those traps. This is where the Achilles heel of this machine is. It's just weak. So he may have to pull himself up. There you go. Yep. Now as he pulls himself up, he's got to coordinate the two different movements. And it's gonna feel a little bit off. See how he's jiggling, joggling right now? That's not a fun feeling. And this is the problem with this machine in particular. I said I've had a love-hate relationship with this thing. Well, this is the hate part. There we go. Now he has to crawl his way up, and then if he finds himself sliding in the go-between when he lets down, like right there, he can put the blade down. Let me help him. He's looking at me for assistance. What's going on is you are now experiencing why I hate this machine. There is no power to these tracks, okay? When you get up, when you pull yourself up, you're doing perfect. Just put your back blade down and that'll keep you from sliding. If you do, the only thing you really got to worry about is this fence, right? So just use the back blade, and then you got to lift it up. You got to work your stair step up. That's all you can do. You're fine otherwise. And just nice and slow. There's no rush. Nobody's yelling at you. We're not on a commercial site. We're in someone's backyard trying to make it more pretty. So let's enjoy that process. I know there's gonna be a bunch of you guys, oh, I could have crawled that up there sideways with one hand tied behind my back eating a fresh cob of corn. But you're not here to do that for us. I wish you were, because I'd videotape you doing that and showing us how to do our job. So, but we are gonna go with plan B, and that is my favorite tool of all time. I'll back this out, you can back that out. We'll switch positions and we'll just go to town. Welcome, master. Come on, say it, baby, say it. Yes! My favorite word ever. My skid loader, and this is why I like my skid loader, because I can do just about anything I want. What do you think? Pretty steep, huh? Don't stand at the bottom. Yeehaw! People are like, why don't you use your excavator more? And I'm like, because I can do everything with a skid loader that I can with an excavator. Maybe not. Holy sh! Holy sh! Dude! I think we need different tracks. So the danger of being up here like this is not from driving straight down. It's if I'm going down, a track catches and I go sideways at all, she's gonna go the other way. So I don't wanna go, I gotta stay straight up and down, which is a little hairy at times, especially when you're trying to scrape. And we've got too many changes and too much stuff going on up here to do it the right way. So Alex is gonna grab his weed whip and we're gonna just make a, I got it figured out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the fill soil in and we're gonna put it right here and build a ramp up so that you can easily drive the excavator up to get your boulder settings in place. We'll trim this down just like you're doing.
Okay.
Then you put your fill soil in, you got your ramp, which will get you about to there. You can just gently drive up, get your boulder settings in place, and then when you come down, you just cut the backfill portion of the ramp out, flip it up, use it for backfill, and then you can just drag that back down behind the wall. Yep. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. That works. Wow. So we got this ridge. So this is the ridge. It goes and down. That's to keep their water from going to their pool. If we take that out, we got to put it back. We don't want to take that out. We just got to get the vegetation taken off this hill so we can put fabric down. We going all the way over to the pine trees then, Alex? All the way around?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I could have never scraped over there anyway, and even if I did, I don't know how consistent it would have been. So yeah, we've got a couple holes to fill and some stuff we've got to level out now, but from our attempt, not the end of the world though. We'll just put a boulder setting right here. Actually, it'd probably complement nicely the oak tree right behind me. Bring that in. We got a couple really nice boulders to do boulder settings with. Alex is cleaning up the hill. Johnny grabbed a load of, we call it rodeo clay. I'll show you what it is. That's good looking material. We've had a few days of rain, so nice combo of sand and some clay in there, and oof, dang. A little more expensive for this stuff, but ooh, that looks nice. That looks nice. What do you guys think of our new box? We rebuilt the bottom, put a whole new bed in. $4,000 just for the bed. Creamy smooth, baby. That looks nice. Okay, good to know. Here's some smaller red ones, which you may be able to use because they use smaller stones on there, so you could maybe use something like that to tie in.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that you got to be careful of, but we should do, is ask the customer what their character stones are. I ask you first because you're the one that has to work with them, but they're the ones that got to look at it for the next 20 years. Yeah. So let's go find out. Let's take about 15 minutes and set all the boulders that we think are going to be the setting boulders to the side. We'll let these guys just come out and do a check on them. And then that way I can use the skiddy to run them back to you. You can plant yourself on the hill and not get out. I'll just feed them to you. So let's do that right now. Hey, when you're grabbing, he set them right over the lines, and the lines are only that far below the ground, so you gotta...
I was trying not to...
I saw that. I'm just letting you know and letting these guys know. You know, one of the best things about what we do is basically we're artists. You know, we get something like this, all these materials, and our customers have a vision and we have a vision. And the coolest thing is we get to try to make those two things marry together. And that can be a really fun, exciting challenge. That's already looking nice. Ooh. So if that rolls down, that'll hit him, knock him right out of the saddle. Yeah, he's got to protect himself. That's the danger about working downhill when you're placing boulders. He's getting that firsthand right now. You better grab that right there. Grab it. Yes, perfect, perfect. And drive your machine right up to where it's got to go. So the machine doesn't have enough power to literally lift it the rest of the way in at this point. I can just tell. So he's gonna have to push it in or use the machine, drive the machine closer, but he can't extend his boom arms out. This is that, remember that love-hate relationship with these machines? This is it right here. Ooh, that's perfect. I like it. I like it. You're optimizing the view from the pool in the kitchen, not from where you're sitting. So you just got to kind of put yourself in that mind frame. It's easy. Let's just show these guys. As we sit here, this is the way it looks for Alex. But if we go down here, this is the way it's going to look for the customers. You need to look at it from both angles to make sure you're happy. I like it. But we just need to point out the obvious, that where you're seeing it from is not going to be the same that they're seeing it from. No, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It looks even better if you take a couple steps back.
Yeah.
Nesty plunge. Look at him, look at him. Oh, he's gonna be good. Lucky he wore his brown pants today. Guy named Brian from Aquascape, been installing ponds for 20 some years, and he told me, don't get married to a stone. You give it 2, maybe 3 turns, and if you haven't got it dialed in, move on. Move on.
That's Tim right there.
Oh, he'll marry him. He'll marry him. He'll divorce him. He'll take.
Want this stone right here.
Yep.
No matter what, like, we got to get it in there.
No, you don't, man. No, you don't. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes when you intentionally don't put something there, you now bring the focal point where you want it. And if you put something there, it might just get too busy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because it's busy. This is busy.
That wall is pretty close to right there anyways. There's boulders, yeah.
I like that. And they can soften that up with plants. That's, yeah, less is more. So close, so close. Perfect. Set it in and forget it. Yup. Nailed it! That's perfect! Give it a love tap! Love tap, just make, all that does is it just makes sure that she's just, yup. Are we gonna make it? I'm driving right in. It was dead yesterday. Well, yeah, what kind of excuse do you got? I've always got a camera in one hand. I mean, it's not much different than what you're doing. Drive. I'll put my seatbelt on in a minute.